going on, guys? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up on today's show, we have a Minnesota Vikings rumors mailbag where we take questions during our live show, where we do go live every single Wednesday at around 1 p.m. Central Time. So make sure you guys do tune in for that and hit that subscribe button. Let's kick it off to our first question on today's show, coming in from my man Skull Nations. And he said this: did you see that Davante Adams wants to play with Kirk Cousins? And oh, yes, I did. And I knew somebody was going to ask about this. So I do want to show you guys a quote. So Davante Adams was on a podcast. Somebody asked him just like, what type of quarterback, would you want to play with, with the Raiders with an opening at that spot? They're just kind of talking quarterback, talking shop. And this is what Davante Adams said about Kirk Cousins. He said, I like a Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is a really good quarterback. As far as availability, I think Kirk is a really good player. And this was kind of Davante Adams recruiting Cousins a little bit. The Raiders do have an opening at that quarterback position. And, with Antonio Pierce coming back as head coach, a new GM there in Las Vegas, maybe they view Kirk as that guy, kind of sandpaper this Raiders roster, because the Raiders do have a good roster. They have a good defense, got good weapons on the outside, obviously being the best one being Davante Adams. So Davante Adams is saying, give me a guy like Kirk Cousins, and I could probably go back to being the best receiver in the NFL. And I do want to make this point also. The Vikings are not getting Davante Adams. I had a couple people reach out to me on Twitter saying, did you see this? Could the Vikings go out and get him? Yeah, technically they could. Davante Adams, his contract is already paid for next season by the Las Vegas Raiders, but that also means you'd probably have to throw in the 11th overall pick to go get a guy like that. And again, it would be sweet to have Jefferson, Davante Adams, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. But again, there's only one football to go around, and I don't know if Jordan Addison would be too thrilled about being the third or fourth option on any given Sunday. But pretty cool that Davante Adams giving Kirk Cousins his flowers. I think it just kind of shows that, Kirk is respected around the NFL, and, maybe he doesn't have the best reputation outside the league, but I do think the guys in the league and the guys actually playing the game have a huge sense of respect for him. We've heard what Jefferson has said about him throughout this offseason, so pretty cool just to see another top-end receiver, showing him some love. But in terms of bringing in Davante Adams, would you trade for him? Would you trade the 11th overall pick for Davante Adams? Great player, but again, not a position of need at all for the Vikes. Give me a T for trade or give me a P for the pass. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. We're going to kick it to Asher Ackley with the question. They say, do you think the Vikings have a chance to trade for Dak? If so, will JJ sign a record-breaking deal? Trading for Dak, I am so out on this. I've been in the camp that if the Vikings are bringing back a veteran quarterback, just have it be Kirk Cousins. The dude wants to be here. And honestly, I think Kirk and Dak are the same quarterback in my opinion. I just think Dak has a better brand than Kirk Cousins. That's why most people would probably, if you ask the street and we're just polling people, who would you rather have, Dak or Kirk, probably say 60% go Dak Prescott. But I think they're the same quarterback. I honestly think Kirk might be a little better than Dak Prescott. So if you're bringing back a veteran quarterback, kind of ties into that old Russell Wilson nonsense that the Vikings could be a landing spot for him. But if you're bringing a guy back, just have it be Kirk Cousins. They also say if they will JJ sign a record-breaking deal. It doesn't matter what the Vikings do. You sign Jefferson to a record-breaking deal. I don't care if it's Jaron Hall starting at quarterback again next season. Number 18 has to be locked up. As then Rocky asking a hard-hitting question. Would you consider trading Justin Jefferson and rebuilding? Listen, this has been floated out there a lot. There's a longtime beat reporter for the Vikings that wrote up an article saying the Vikings should consider trading him because the Vikings just aren't really in a position to compete. And, we've talked about it. The division, it is on the way up. You can make an argument right now, NFC North will no doubt be the best division in football next season, but considering the Lions and Packers will probably be two top 10 teams, the Bears play this offseason correctly, they might be a top 10 team as well in the NFL. And, and the Vikings have a lot of decisions to make. Maybe they kind of push this down the line, trade Jefferson. Maybe you send him. The Arizona Cardinals have shown interest in Jefferson. Maybe you get the number 4 overall pick and a pick for next year. Maybe you just draft Marvin Harrison at 4, kind of replace Jefferson, get another first-round pick, kind of push that. It's so funny. We talk about Jefferson kind of like he's on like a rookie quarterback contract, kind of push that contract down the line a little bit. So would you consider it? I absolutely would. But again, I don't think you trade blue chip players. I don't just think Jefferson is the best player or best non-quarterback in the National Football League and the best receiver. I think Jefferson has a chance to be 100% one of the best receivers of all time. He'll be top 5, no doubt about it. So probably not in trading Jefferson, but definitely an interesting thought. Now let's kick it to Zach Fortnite and more too, saying, do you think the Vikings should trade up to 2 or 3 to get Jaden Daniels? Probably more likely going to be 3. I think the Commanders are for sure going to sit there and take either Drake May or Jaden Daniels, whoever they decide. But, I think Jaden Daniels, I think he'll work out in Minnesota. He is in kind of a boom or bust prospect, and I think a lot of the times with those types of quarterbacks, like if Jaden Daniels would end up in Washington, I would fully be willing to say he will not work out in the NFL because of the support system Washington will be able to offer him. But on the Viking side of things, he'll be able to offer a unreal support system. So I would be all in on getting Jaden Daniels. I think he would work out in Minnesota, and you actually give a quarterback that the Kevin O'Connell will be kind of able to mold and kind of turn into his own, which I think would be a cool little tidbit. So keep him in the purple and gold. Get the LSU kid, have that LSU connection of Daniels to Jefferson. So I would be absolutely all in on that. But the greatest ever coming in right now saying, when do you think Justin Jefferson will get extended? I'm getting nervous. Yeah, I'm getting nervous too. This should have been done last offseason, and the Vikings haven't done it yet. And the thing is with Jefferson, like, Jamar Chase is going to get paid very shortly. The Bengals aren't going to mess around. They're going to pay him. I want Jefferson's deal to get done before Jamar Chase's, because once Jamar Chase gets done, what do you think Jefferson's going to say? He's going to say, like, see that contract? I want at least $1 million or $1 million per year more than that. So why not just get it done? That's why I was in the camp. You should have just did it last season where you could lower his cap hit. Because now, Jefferson has an argument. Seriously, like, he really does have an argument that he should be making $35 million a year. So, yeah, I think it should get done this offseason. But, again, I am getting nervous as well. But I'll kick it to you guys. How much per year would you give Justin Jefferson? What is the max you would do? I'm probably giving him around 30 to 33. Don't know if it would be more than that. Just because, again, it is a receiver. It's more of an icing on the cake type of position. But let me know your thoughts. How much per year would you give Justin Jefferson? Ty Man, the Buckeye. What up, baby? Kicking it to him here. He says this. Do you think we will make the Super Bowl next year, Skull? Ty Man, if there was, trying to think of a path for the Vikings to make the Super Bowl next season, I think the Vikings' best chance to make the Super Bowl would be re-signing Kirk Cousins. You go sign, Josh Allen, get another edge rusher next to Hunter, and you really just kind of believe in the fact that the Vikings were one of the better teams in the NFL last season before Kirk Cousins got hurt. You just say run back this same unit, Kirk another year under Kevin O'Connell, Jefferson, Addison just another year in the NFL. They're going to be better, and just let Brian Flores cook with this defense for one more season. I think that's their best chance, and we'll say NFC is wide open. There is really, I was thinking about who is the best quarterback in the NFC heading into next season, because I think a lot of us thought it was either like Jalen Hurts heading into the year, but I definitely don't think it's him. You could make an argument it's, Jordan Love being the best quarterback in the NFC, Kyler Murray. Kirk would be right up there with them. So I think the best chance for the Vikings to make the Super Bowl would be to bring back Kirk next year. But X is vibing, says, if we don't re-sign Hunter, do we go after Jared Verse or a Chop Robinson instead of a quarterback in round 1? 100%. Kind of going back to the last question. If the Vikings want to just kind of go all in on 1 year, you don't draft a quarterback, obviously. You go get an edge rusher or a member of the secondary. That's what I would do. But honestly, I would want them to re-sign Hunter and draft a guy like Jared Verse to develop under a Danielle Hunter. Obviously, it would make Jared Verse's life a whole lot easier because he wouldn't be getting chipped. He wouldn't be getting doubled. That would all be Hunter. And you allow Verse to just go one-on-one with whatever team's tackle is taking that responsibility. So, yeah, X is vibing. Great question. I'd do it. As Asher Ackley, last question of today's show, saying, do you think Jared Allen will make the Hall of Fame this season? I sure hope so. Jared Allen, one of my favorite players of all time, one of the greatest jerseys of all time, wearing number 69. He was inducted to the Vikings Hall of Fame this past season when he came in riding a horse. It was absolutely sweet, but I sure hope he will. One of the better edge rushers that we have seen in Minnesota history and just overall NFL history. Had that one season where he had 22 and a half sacks. He was great. One of my favorite Vikings players of all time. He was at his peak when I was kind of first becoming a Vikings fan, so he kind of sparked my love in this football team. So Asher, 100%. Give me Jared Allen in the Hall of Fame because he definitely deserves it. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching today's show. Listen, free agency, the draft, they're all coming right now, and there's a ton of questions are coming up shortly, and there's a ton of questions around Kirk, what are they going to do with Hunter, Jefferson, a ton around the Minnesota Vikings. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. See y'all next time. Skol Vikes.